Normally, we are climbing up that mountain so high because we're looking to establish identity for ourselves. When God is trying to tell us in the valley, there's already an identity for you. You're looking to acquire Grammy-type identity or applause identity, and God has given you son-type identity.
My guest today is a Grammy Award-winning artist, songwriter, and producer. Jonathan McReynolds has released 5 acclaimed albums and authored 2 books while also serving as adjunct professor at Columbia College, Chicago. His latest book, Before You Climb Any Higher, reminds us of how important it is to make room for God in the middle of all the chaos and the busyness of life. Jonathan, give us just a little flavor of, like, what was it like for you, your mountaintop experience? What was it about your musical career that would influence you to write this book?
Yeah, so I've never really had a mountaintop experience, because if you're a true climber, whenever you feel like you're getting to the top of something, you normally just find something else to climb. And so it's a forever pursuit.
You're just
always wanting
climbing.
to be better, more, get more awards, get another movie, get another song, get another degree, get another church, whatever it is. And so for me, it was really, I was in a situation, I had done a huge tour, literally Christian music's biggest tour up to that point. I was in a musical. I was thinking about maybe writing a book, and I had another book in mind. I was thinking maybe I'll write something like this. All of this was happening at the same time. I had some family stuff going on that I was carrying, and I just realized that all of this trudging up the mountain that I was doing, it was wreaking havoc on my body, my soul. I mean, every doctor I went to, it looks like stress. I mean, you'd be amazed how many manifestations of stress can happen in the body. It's just like your pinky toe hurts. Well, that's probably the stress.
It's probably stress.
And so it's just amazing how the work and the upward progress that I had set myself on ever since I was a little precocious kid when I was 6 years old. I was not giving myself time to be anything else than a title earner, a degree receiver, an accomplishment getter. And I had to realize that first and foremost, on my best day and on my worst day, I was something else, a son of God. And I wasn't gonna find and embrace that title while every day was on the mountain.
Wow. This is so good for all of us, whether you're a singer, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a pastor, or you're a parent, a student, a grandparent, anything, because we want our life to count for something. I want to know who I am. I want to know that my life is counting and that I'm moving in the right direction. And we're always looking at the next big thing, the next big accomplishment.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm 55 years old now, and I think, wow, you know, I've got like so much sand has gone through the hourglass in terms of the time that I have left in life. And I think, what is it that I want to do next? But I love what you're saying is that we have, I mean, the truth is, I've got more than enough time. I've got eternity with the Lord in heaven. But while I'm here, I want to do as much good as possible. And I want to be in the right mindset so that it's not a burnout. And I know your book is going to help me and others with this. You say in your book, the mountain is part of life, but there's very little life on it.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so you have this big noble mountain, but as you slide up this mountain, you realize, wait, I don't see any trees. I don't see any green. It's snow-capped. It's, you know, cold, thin air. Meanwhile, the valley, and I mean, civilizations, ancient civilizations, they always start in the valley. Why? Because there was lushness there. There was grass. There was a river. There were bunny rabbits hopping around. There were birds flying. There's so much life in the valley, and I think that we are so pressed as a culture to constantly aim up and up and up and up. And I think that we haven't really been honest. Even the people who are working so hard to be up there, they haven't been honest about what's on that mountain. It's not just a lot of people applauding for you, but it's cold, thin air. It's isolation. It's a lot of loneliness.
That's
and
true.
we just haven't been honest. And so my goal in this book was to de-romanticize the mountain a little bit, and let people know that there is something for you. There is sonship, daughterhood for you, and that is not something that you have to earn. That's something that you just have to embrace being given.
Jonathan, this is so important because so many of us do to romanticize or fantasize, whatever word you used, about a mountaintop experience. And could it be that the most important lessons and the deepest lessons of the heart are learned way down in the valley, which we think of as bad, but you're saying that's where the lush life is happening.
Absolutely. My goal is to flip this idea of mountain being good, valley being bad. Because honestly, most of my problems, most of the heartache, the hurt, the injury, it happened on the mountain. It happened while scaling the mountain. And it's just time we be honest about it. And I'll go farther into this metaphor as we talk, but it's not even about your actual success. It's about how much you're consumed with the pursuit of success. That's what pushes you up the mountain. And you've seen some incredibly successful people who have learned to be low and near the valley. We've also seen some people who maybe don't have all the external success, but are so consumed by the pursuit of it that they're somewhere up there in rarefied air. And so just whether you find yourself at the beginning of your career, at the end of your career, it feels like you're at a peak of it, or you feel like you're at a valley of it, I'm trying to let you guys know, let the world know that God has something for you if you just humble yourself.
Your book has reminded me of a camping trip that I took with my son, James, and we wanted to go backpacking out into the Ansel Adams wilderness near Yosemite, California. And we had such a great time because, well, first we had to decide, are we going to go down to the valley floor where most people go, and that's where the millions of people are because you could see the waterfalls, you're down there with the squirrels and the bears and everything else, or we're going to go up to where it looks like the moon. It's like scorched earth, nothing left, and you're just there with granite and like wolves. But you know, my son wanted to go to the top of the mountain, and my daughter wanted to go down into the valley. And they're both beautiful, and they're both great. And you were talking a little bit earlier about the valley not being a bad thing, but being a lush place of life where lessons are learned. Can you expand a little bit more? What types of lessons can be learned in the valleys?
Sure. First of all, it's funny that your son wanted to go to the mountaintop. Because us guys, we have it really bad. We have this thing where we really feel like we have to conquer. You know what I'm saying? We got to get to the top. And trust me, I am not advising against climbing your mountain. God has given us all assignments. He's given us all missions. He's given us careers, ministries, families to take care of. Climb that mountain. It's very important that we handle what we're supposed to handle. And maybe if that means climbing to the top of that mountain, scorched earth mountain, then let's do it. And God will give us strength. The problem is sometimes we are so afraid of coming back down to just the normal valley where all the normal people are.
And it makes me, I'm not special anymore.
I'm not special anymore. You know, all those, that feeling that I had in childhood where I had to accomplish so people would like me and value me. My mother seemed to enjoy when I did something well. So let me keep doing things well. Let me keep going up the mountain. And we continue to forsake this opportunity that your daughter saw. That there's a reason why there's more people down there. There's life. There is less concern about falling. There's less paranoia. There's a freedom down there. There's a community down there. And I think that when we are only on the mountain identifying ourselves as CEO and boss and king and queen and everything else, have you looked at Instagram bios lately? This is the generation of the multi-hyphenate. None of us do one thing. I'm a singer, I'm an actor, I'm an author, I'm a, I don't know, trapeze artist. I don't know, I do all these things. You know what I'm saying? I'm the boss of this, and I founded this, and I blah, blah, blah this. Rarely do you see son or daughter of God. because we identify ourselves mostly as people who take care of stuff, and we forget that we are also being taken care of. In the valley, you remember that you are not just somebody on assignment, but you're also God's assignment. He's taking care of you as ardently and even more tenaciously than you're taking care of all the stuff on your mountain. He's taking care of you. You are his son, you are his daughter. You have an opportunity to embrace that and take a load off a little bit. His will is his bill, not yours. And there's so much that we can do when we are stripped and freed of the responsibility, not even the responsibility, because we have our responsibilities, but the pressure of constantly living on the mountain. Go to the mountain, but any real mountain climber knows it can't really celebrate until he gets off of that mountain. Like, there's only so much you can do on the top of Mount Everest. You get up there, you plant the flag, you take a picture, and you try to get down. And so you can really get back with family and hug. And so it's not so much about lessons being learned in the valley. There are lessons that you're gonna learn, but it's really identity that you pick up again. Oh, wait, the world is not revolving around me. Even though I'm responsible to steward what God has given me as best as I can, still I don't make the world go round. I'm gonna do the best that I can do as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, but God gives the increase. So I have to make sure I'm reminded that he's taking care of things even better than I'm taking care of.
I mean, I think about the scriptures that say, the Lord is my shepherd, and he leads me besides quiet waters, and he makes me lay down in green pastures. Well, where are those? They're in the valley.
Not up there.
They're not up there.
There's not a lot of green up there at all,
And that would make us not resent and be disgusted by being laid low by our circumstances, because you're saying that's where we can find rest and we can reconnect with God. Talk a little bit about those two qualities, the importance of resting and reconnecting.
When you actually realize, okay, maybe there's something for me in the valley, and you come back down to the valley, you realize that God had identity for you. Normally, we are climbing up that mountain so high because we're looking to establish identity for ourselves. When God is trying to tell us in the valley, there's already an identity for you. You're looking to acquire Grammy-type identity or applause identity, and God has given you son-type identity. And we just never really rest in that. I don't have to steer this ship with such a strong, no, he actually has this under control. He's finished the work. I'm living this thing out, and I am just one of his sons within his agenda. Am I doing some great things and having some great feats and getting to hang out with some of the greats in our industry? That's awesome. But ultimately, this is all a finished work. This is all something that I'm living out much more than creating.
Jonathan, let me ask you, you said a couple of times that I'm a son of God or I'm a daughter. What's so great about that? I mean, someone who says like, well, okay, you're saying that's better than the Grammy title or the king or the boss title. I have the son title. What's so great about being a son?
Man, okay, so son comes with power. It comes with position. It comes with an idea that dad's gonna take care of stuff. Like, do you remember just being a kid and just being like, are we there yet? I mean, I'm not the one that's driving this ship. It's like, God, is this where you want me to get off? Okay, here we go. You know what I'm saying? There's a different approach to life and the way you look at it when you realize you're the son, and not just the son of like some regular guy, but the son of God. Like the one who's actually orchestrating all this in the first place. Like you have a direct line, you have his blood, you have his DNA, and you are embracing it and you're living it out. Man, that is a different type of power. That's a different type of comfort. I know that everything's gonna be all right because my father runs everything. Are you kidding me? We're in his house. And so I think that you know, there's so much beauty that can come when you just remind yourself that you're a son.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I love that. And, you know, the scriptures tell us that just like Jesus, you know, he is the Son of God, but we're sons and daughters of God when we believe the gospel. And we get to inherit all of that together with him for all of eternity.
Absolutely.
And I think, and all of his righteousness becomes ours, and all of that glory and that kingdom, he invites us into it and to share all of it with him. So what does it really matter whether I have a book or a movie or a trophy or a ribbon or a thing, when I've got the goodness and the mercy and the glory of God?
This is
to enjoy
icing
for
on the
eternity.
cake.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this, and I just want to say this, since you brought up Jesus. We're talking about a Jesus that is the Son of God, and God was so pleased with him that he said, "This is my son in whom I'm well pleased." And Jesus hadn't done anything. He hadn't done any of the miracles that we know him for. He hadn't died on the cross. He hadn't done anything yet but be. So could you imagine that if God can bestow that type of pleasure in his son before his son even gets to the nitty-gritty of climbing his mountain? Don't you think he'd do that for us too?